Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the 21st annual Crush on the Concho presented by Lone Star Disc. Thank you to our presenting sponsors, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, and today I am joined by Mr. HyzerMedia himself, Dave Oster. How's it going, Dave?
Good, how are you, Nate? Glad to be on the card. Today we have Kiefer, as well as Charlie Moore, a local player who shreds this course regularly, so excited to see him, and none other than Andrew Fish. Only 3 players on our card today, and I'm excited to get started, as we will on hole 1. Thank you again to D-Town Disc Golf for supporting us. Hole 1 is a par 3, 360 feet, basically a straight shot with a decent finish out to the left. Should be pretty easy for some of these pros, and they're going to get started on the tee right now.
Valrico, Florida, sponsored by Latitude, Spin City Disc. We got Kiefer.
Yeah, should be a really exciting day to watch these pros shred this course in Texas. Oh, we got a little flyover. That's kind of fancy. But here goes Kevin. I'm sure he's going to take some sort of overstable fairway driver on a hole like this. Just a pretty stock shot for most of these pros, I would think.
Conroe, Texas, sponsored by Lone Star Disc, Big Country Beef Jerky, and Low Putt Disc Golf. We got Charlie Moore.
Yeah, Charlie Moore coming out. Local pro, like you said, from San Angelo. He was actually the runner-up at this tournament last year, so I'm sure he's looking to build on that finish and come out with another strong performance. This looks like it comes out a little early, but we'll see on the ground. Ooh, funky little tree kick there. Should leave him with a outside the circle putt.
From Baltimore, Maryland, sponsored by Discraft, Upper Park, and Disc Golf Bra. We got Andrew Fish.
Got Fish rounding out the card. Always entertaining to watch him throw. You can always see that former ultimate style in his backhand form. Super smooth player. Comes out, looks like a little low, but gets a favorable skip. Got a couple tester putts to start off the day. This Fish is going to give this a bid. Just comes up a little short. What was the conditions like out there today, Dave?
So unseasonably calm for a middle of Texas type tournament.
Wow, that's Kevin with a great outside the circle putt to get his tournament started. That'll be a nice momentum builder. Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, we gotta give the man the credit he deserves. That's a great putt.
No, for sure. That was a great putt. Way to start the round off for Kevin.
Charlie comes up a little bit short there, but anyway, yeah. So yes, looks like almost no wind, which is super surprising for West Texas this time of year.
Yep, and we're along the Concho River, of course. So usually some wind coming off of that, but not today. As we continue on hole 2, thanks to Reaper Disc Supply for sponsoring this hole. Par 4, 658 feet. There is a straight shot to get into the landing zone around here. A lot of these pros may be going out and around Big Hyzer High on the left side. There is no out of bounds on the road here, except for the river far to the left. So you can see Kevin lining up. Gonna be a real high shot. Hopefully we can just see it once it comes back to the earth.
Wow, yeah, ton of height under that, ton of turn, going for that max distance line. And yeah, I mean, if you got the power to go over these trees, there's really no reason not to in these calm conditions. So I'm sure he's looking to bite off a ton of distance off the tee. Charlie looks like he likes that line as well. Kevin providing some commentary in the background. That's great. And Fish, he likes it as well. Wow, so all 3 players going for this big turnover line, trying to bite off a ton of distance. I mean, you'll notice a common theme with these Texas trees that love to create low ceiling shots, but they're not that tall. So if you have the height and the power, going over them is typically a very viable option. See Fish's upshot here, looks great. He'll have himself an inside the circle putt for the birdie. Super smooth turnover there for Kevin. He'll have a birdie putt as well. And looks like Charlie faded out a little bit, but like you said, Dave, still in bounds as long as he's not in the river. Just has a tricky upshot over here.
Let's hope that he's make the putt, or make both the putts.
Here's Charlie. Maybe a 40-footer. Just never quite had the height on it. Fish, nice little cleanup for his birdie. That'll be a good way to get the round going. You'll see here today that in these conditions, like we said, the course is playing very scoreable. So these players are going to be looking to get out to a hot start and get their birdies early and often. These courses, this is a temp course on this property, so fairly open style with some low ceilings here and there to deal with, but pretty stereotypical Texas golf. And yeah, like I said, these players will be looking to score.
Yeah, and you mentioned this temp course, we're playing on a campground, so you see some campers and tents in the background, but they usually do not come into play, as we see one on hole 3, par 3, 303 feet. Thanks to Cosmic for sponsoring this. Pretty straightforward, just kind of need to throw it straight and have it fade a little bit. This was actually a different layout than what they practiced. You can kind of see some tape to the right side. A tree fell the night before the tournament and had to make this, so the players were not able to practice this hole in the setup that it is now at all.
Okay, very interesting. So yeah, they maybe have to make some subtle adjustments to their game plan. As Charlie's opting for the forehand line, you might see some straight backhands, some baby flex forehands, kind of whatever works to get you up toward the basket. You could see Kevin a little nervous after his shot. There is OB. The river is behind the basket. Fish turns his over. Nobody really too close on this hole, so we'll have some long putts coming up. Oh, just barely short enough the cage there for Fish. Tough break. Charlie's just off as well. So Kevin did just barely stay in bounds. He's got a kind of uncomfortable footing here. And yeah, looks just didn't let him get enough power on that putt. So these guys will tap out their pars on the slightly different hole 3. No harm, no foul, as everybody stayed in bounds. But
and where Fish landed is where the basket was actually going to be. And I believe it's going to be there for round 3 once we're back on the temp course. So we will get to see if Fish can throw that same shot and park it in the next round. But for that hole, a couple of good bids as we move on to hole 4, thanks to BS Upshot Tournaments and Shops. Par 3, 320 feet, want to throw straight, backhand, and a little bit of fade at the end. There is also a forehand line if you prefer it, and basically just have to keep it short of that road.
Yeah, classic low ceiling Texas hole. Just make sure you commit to your line. Count on that little bit of ground play to give you another, 40 to 50 feet of skip, and should have a putt. See, looks like Charlie's lining up that forehand line. It's a little high, but if it gets through, yeah, he's up there. See what Fish can do. Nice smooth straight backhand. If this gets to edge, it looks great. And it does, yeah. 3 players inside the circle, maybe. Charlie just doesn't quite have that putt on yet. He's been a little low, a little left, maybe a little tentative. Hopefully he can turn things around soon. Fish, a little high left. That's definitely one he wants to make, I'm sure. 25, 30 footer. It's going to be a lot of those on this course, right? When you have kind of unpredictable ground play, you're not sure how much of a skip you're going to get. A lot of the times you find your disc running to that 30-foot range, and those putts are the difference between a good round and a great round.
For sure, and as we move to hole 5, I want to thank On Your Card Fantasy Disc Golf for sponsoring this hole. Go check them out. Par 3, 300 feet, our first water carry hole. elevated basket on one of the course picnic tables. A little interesting thing. Basically, just got to clear it either with a forehand or a bit of a backhand turnover. Distance shouldn't be an issue, really just hitting the main gap and getting it down to the ground.
Yeah, only 300 feet if you've got the forehand. This seems to be a pretty standard shot. As a fortunate kick there for Kevin to keep him close. But yeah, I don't think these players are too worried about the water carry. It's more just, oh, as I say that, Charlie turns his over, and that is going to be OB in the pond.
And actually, he did kick, skip and kick up onto the grass. So we'll see as we go across. The players did give him crossing, and he was just barely in bounds.
Wow. Oh, yeah,
Tough
there
to
you
see
go.
right there. But there's a little bit of grass under his disc, and they gave it to him. So very fortunate.
Yeah, that's a great break. So he's going to be able to save his par after that. That's a could be a potentially multiple stroke swing crossing there. Kevin
so
doesn't
apparently
quite.
in Texas, it doesn't matter what you hit, your disc is just going to keep skipping, water or grass.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of ground play, no matter the surface. That's Texas golf. Put it on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker or something like that. Couple par cleanups again. These guys just haven't put themselves close enough to the basket yet. A lot of long kind of tester putts and just haven't been connecting. So we'll see if they can start to get into the flow here on hole 6.
And hole 6 is sponsored by Slippery Saucers Disc Golf. Par 4, 647 feet. Got to go to the left of one mando tree, and then basically want to have your disc moving left to right. The further right you go will be more open. It is fairly open on this middle. You definitely don't want to go left. A lot more trees coming into play. And then once you get to the green, still left side trees, as you can see, more open if you're approaching from the right side.
Yeah, these par 4s kind of have a similar theme of just bite off as much distance as you can off the tee and then kind of scramble your way to the basket. There's not really a designed fairway per se on this course. It's more of just, park golf, trees placed here and there. That's a pretty bad mistake there from Kevin, hitting an early tree. He's going to get a maybe unwarranted roll out there to the left, but again, pretty open. He should still be able to salvage a par from over there, but definitely going to be a long shot if he wants to try to still grab a birdie. Yeah, didn't quite commit to that forehand from Charlie. Kind of fluffed it, left it a little high. It's going to be tricky for him as well. Here's Kevin now on his upshot. Good amount of distance. I'm sure he'll still have a bit of a ways to get to the basket from there, though. Charlie's going big highs. They're trying to get over these trees. Good. Was able to bite off a good amount of distance there. Now here's Fish, best drive of the group. And this upshot looks money. Just a little mid-range, I'm sure. Comet or something. Buzz for Fish. That should give him a pretty easy birdie. There's Kevin. Was a great shot, honestly, for his second to bite off a bunch of distance and give him a long look. Here's Charlie tickling some chains from 50 feet or so. So good par cleanup from both Kevin and Charlie. I mean, this is not too difficult of a hole, but when you're hitting an early tree like that, you don't want to leave yourself too much stress. Just take your par, move on, pick up the birdie somewhere else. But Fish executed this hole to perfection. Great drive, super crisp upshot, and that's tap in birdie.
Yeah, for sure. Great way to play it. And thanks to Link Disc Golf Supplies for sponsoring hole 7, par 3, 340 feet. The safe play is to go around the right side of these trees. That is an out-of-bounds road, but it is also potentially a water carry hole for a turnover or a forehand, tight kind of landing zone if you want to hit it, but certainly reachable as we see Fish going for it.
Wow, he's going for the big turnover over the water. And he is safe in bounds. Wow, what a shot. That's some trust in your disc right there to trust that mid range out over the water and drag it back in bounds. It's a really great shot. Here's Kevin. This is the more traditional route to just play that road for the skip, but unfortunately, comes out a little high, catches some branches, and he'll have to scramble. Charlie, I figured we'd see a big forehand out of him. Looks like he's lining up over the water as well. This looks like a good line. Comes up a little short there, but should be safe.
Yeah, so some of the players are talking about on this hole that the traditional line is so difficult that it often is more worth it to try the over the water just because of so much airspace, especially when the wind was in their favor.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, yeah, not a lot of trees over the water, right? So a lot less to miss as long as you commit to your line and the angle. You should have a good shot. It's just a little scary off the tee. So Fish, he committed and he was rewarded. Couple more par cleanups before we head into the very exciting short par 4 that is hole 8.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, the short par 4 certainly reachable. Another potential water carry. You can see we're pointing towards the safe play going around the trees. But if you just go straight, you can certainly cross, wanting to miss this one big tree to try to get onto the green. If you do so, you can certainly get a eagle bid. And I can tell you that a couple of these players are going to be trying it. So very exciting hole.
Yeah, why not? How far is the water carry? Do you know?
I think it's like 480.
Okay, so definitely quite a bit to go for it. Quite a scary shot of Fish. He's going huge max distance line. Full flex. Wow, what a shot. Parked for eagle. Oh my goodness. Absolutely incredible.
Under the basket.
Wow, what a line. Let's see if Kevin, he's trying to match it. Looks very similar. Slips on the tee, Kevin Jones style. His namesake. That's a pretty great shot as well. Maybe a little bit shorter, a little left than that compared to Fish. I mean, hard to do better than Fish's, but that's going to be a putt as well. That's a great shot from
Kevin was surprised he was able to cross because he couldn't see it on camera, but he wound up on the ground and watched it sitting on the tee pad for the entire shot.
Incredible. Charlie, he's going for it as well, and that's also a great line. Comes all the way out. So we got 3 eagle putts. Kevin's farthest out at 50 feet. And he cans it. Wow, what a putt. After slipping on the tee, 50-footer for the eagle. He can't even believe it. Wow. So this is Charlie for 6 down on the card. Just couldn't quite commit to it. Wow. Still, though, no small feat. It's going to be 3 players, and we're going to be 5 under for the card. That's something you don't see every day.
Pretty good. And on the day, there were only 2 eagles in the entire MPO field, and they were both 2 of the 3 players on our card. So pretty exciting to watch that.
That's awesome. Good vibes for sure. Love to see it.
As we move over to the last hole in the front 9, I want to thank Low Putt Disc Golf, also Thomas, the TD for this event, for sponsoring us. Par 3, 357, pretty much a straight shot, but these couple trees right by the green kind of force you to shape maybe a little flex line or low hyzer, given just a little bit of difficulty to this otherwise pretty open hole.
Fish looked like maybe he was looking for some sort of wind drop, but as this kind of just fades out there to the left, a little more stable than he was expecting perhaps. Still have a long putt, but yeah, like you said, Dave, not a lot in the way here. Just kind of whatever you feel most comfortable with at 357 feet to give yourself a putt. Let's see if Charlie can kind of correct on Kevin and Fish's mistakes here. And now he kind of turns it over as well. So yeah, we got 3 long looks on this pretty open, pretty straightforward par 3. Just can't quite connect there. Kevin now from about 40. He's been good from this distance, but Can't believe it, little low. Fish to redeem the card from maybe 36. No, you can't connect either. So 3 pars here on hole 9 to kind of round out the front 9. Pretty solid from Kevin and Fish. Both those eagles on hole 8 boosting their scores. And Charlie, he's got some work to do for sure. Because like I said, very scoreable course. There's a lot of players out here that are putting some very solid rounds together. So we're going to need to see some more birdies on the back 9, especially that signature hole number 10 coming up. So don't go too far. Stick around for more exciting action from the 2023 Crush on the Concho coming right up. Thank you to the Norse Gods and our other supporting sponsors for supporting this coverage, as well as a big thank you to our Patreon family. Like I said, don't go far. Back 9's coming right up.